or less. And why would anybody vote for somebody who's so terrible? Like, yes, Republicans are obviously the worst people in the world, but I didn't think they were that bad,
Right.
And so I started kind of researching it. And in January of 2017, right around the time he was about to take office, I posted something on social media that ended up changing my life forever. And I didn't know that it was going to, but again, I wanted to punish people who voted for him, and so I was constantly putting out these really nasty posts, and you guys are such idiots, and thanks for ruining the world, and whatever. But in January, I posted that I would never be able to understand how anyone could vote for a man who was capable of standing before a cheering crowd and mocking a reporter's disability. Right? Like, what happened to the decency and the soul and just the humanity of Middle America? Like, what is wrong with you guys? And somebody finally answered me, because I was putting all these nasty posts out, but no one would respond. Right? I was like, answer me. Why did you vote for him? Tell me. And no one would. So finally, privately on Facebook, this woman named Diane, hi Diane Beck, my babysitter. Oh, I didn't even look at the camera. Hi Diane. She reached out to me privately, and she just said, look, I'm not trying to start anything with you. Like, I'm not, because we'd had a lot of fights. She's a staunch Christian conservative. Your eyes are just really fixed on that, right?
Because Brandon's a slammer on the table. The UFO keeps falling.
I'll try to, I'll just.
No, that's not better.
She reached out to me privately, and she said, I'm not trying to start a fight with you. I'm just asking, have you seen this? And she sent me a link to a YouTube video entitled Debunking That Trump Mocked the Disabled Reporter. Have you seen it?
I did.
Okay.
Because of you, actually.
Yeah,
Really?
we were talking about this last night.
Yep. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I pride myself on somebody who tries to avoid falling for the narrative traps and all that.
Yeah.
But it was actually a video you posted where I was like, wait, he wasn't mocking the reporter?
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was.
No.
And I'm somebody who is always like, I will talk with Trump's reporters. I don't think they're all that bad. I don't think Trump's all that bad. But that was something I thought was true until I saw your video.
Yeah. It's when you just said that right now, I got chills, because for me, it's not just a moment. It's the moment that changed my life. It completely changed my life. And so, okay.
What's the gist of the video?
So it's a compilation video showing Donald Trump in certain circumstances, even before he was running for president, when he was like on Larry King, early 2000s or something. But it's a compilation of 6, 7, 8 times when he did that exact same voice and gesture as he did at that rally, which is basically like,
and he goes, with his arm.
Then he's flailing. Yeah, he's flailing. But in every single circumstance, he's imitating somebody who's flailing because they were caught in a lie,
right,
or doing something shady or doing something dishonest. But on that day, he happened to be doing it, imitating somebody who really did have a disability. But the media knew. I mean, they covered every rally that he did. And he's done this numerous times at his rallies. And I think he was imitating Ted Cruz at one point. I think he was imitating several different people, the exact same voice and gesture. Yep. But what they did was they freeze framed when his arm was like this, and they threw it up on the television screen with a banner that said, Trump mocks disabled reporter.
Yep.
And I thought it was one of the most shocking, sickening things I'd ever seen in my entire life. And for me, it should have ended there. Why would anyone be willing to vote for somebody who would make fun of a disabled person in front of thousands of cheering people? And but I watched this video, and I had to watch it 3 times because I had this disconnect kind of between my brain and my heart, because my brain was going, oh my God, I don't think he mocked that reporter's disability. Yeah. And my heart was going, yeah, but we hate him. But we hate him. And I don't want to see something that makes it harder for me to hate him. And so I watched it 3 times in a row, and I couldn't make sense of it. And so I went to bed, and I just kind of told myself, okay, you can watch it again later. You don't have to make sense of it right now. It kept me up almost all night. And I woke up the next day, and I opened my computer, and I watched it again first thing, and it was like crystal clear. He didn't mock a reporter's disability. But this presented an even bigger conundrum for me, because if he didn't mock a reporter's disability, why did CNN tell me that he did?
And what else didn't he do? What other things the media claimed?
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a quiz.
No.
He didn't call all Mexicans rapists. He didn't create
Very
a Muslim
people.
ban.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
But Charlottesville hadn't happened yet.
Right.
Charlottesville was the first incident that I saw happen in real time after I walked away. So that's what started this disconnect for me, that, oh my God, there's...
Boy. Everybody needs to hear and see this video. Y'all do me a favor right now. Hit that like button. Share this video with your Democrat family, friends, your liberal friends and family, people that are on this side, people that are in the middle. They don't know who to vote for. You know what I'm saying? Make sure everybody gets to hear and see this video. Especially since we are literally 58 days, y'all. We'll just say 50 days from a very important time in all of our lives. We're living in the biggest history yet. We have the debate coming up in a couple hours tomorrow. So it's literally in a couple hours. But man, and as you can see, tons of anti-Trumpers, never-Trumpers, liberals, I mean, you name it, tons of people are on the Trump train. Tons of people have walked away from the Democratic Party. Liars, failures, lied to we the people. Millions are struggling and dying right now. But hey, we blame everything for Trump. Everything that's happening. Things are collapsing, crashing. Look what we're funding. Wars. Veterans out on the street. People are homeless. They're saying, hey, just come on in. But what about we the people? Man, what I'm going to show you guys, it's a very, very important video. And it's already done millions and millions of views. Some of y'all might already seen it. But just in case you haven't seen it, we're going to make sure you see it and hear it today. So make sure you share this video, hit that like button so that YouTube can expand it on the algorithm. And make sure your Democratic family and friends, your liberals, make sure they hear this right here. Because former liberal explains what happened to make him flip for Trump and walk away from the Democratic Party. Man. And I tell you, one of the big things that are going to be said is the fake news, the enemy of the people, the mainstream media, not thinking for yourself, going with the first thing that you see on CNN, MSNBCs, the fake headlines, the bias reporting. And y'all remember when this took place? Trump fell off stage, or this happened. It was staged. Then you seen somebody actually lost their life. A father. Somebody is missing their loved one right now. They're missing their father. It's real out here, man. We encourage everybody to do your own research and think for yourself. We have to be people that think for ourselves, man. They want to control us. Censorship is real. They want to control everything in our life. It's real. You must think for yourself and understand what's really going on and that they are against a corrupt system. And that's one huge reason why we got the RFK Jr., a Kennedy endorsement. And as you can see, with the type of timing they're on, protect them at all costs. Because they want them gone. A threat to democracy, no, a threat to their system. Not a threat to their democracy, a threat to their corrupt system. It's corrupt. We are not against a candidate. We are against the machine. The lady was most unpopular, not one single vote. Have y'all seen what has taken place this year? And can't give we the people 3 debates. Not one single vote. Most unpopular. Worst approval rating. Worse than Joe Biden. But we've allowed the media, the machine, to create a candidate. And they're running off joy and identity politics. First black woman. I don't care if she's black or not. I don't care, y'all. Can't, and then ducking, dodging, and hiding. Can't give an interview. Word salads. What is she talking about? She can't go off script. And then for this debate, she requested, they wanted no cards and the mics to be unmuted. It's a lot going on, man. But all I can do is show it to you. You know, I used to be a never Trumper and anti-Trumper myself. I want people to know my background too. And I started doing my research and actually understanding what's going on and what's this matrix that we live in, this system, you know, and how America is you know, how things are taken. Like, what am I really living in? And if you really understand what we're living in, it is, man, there's a lot of things I really want to say on camera, but I just can't say, you know, because I want to stay between the guidelines. But it's very corrupt, and that's why we wish the best in everybody's life, man. One love to the human race. One love to the human race. They want us divided. They want us against each other, man. If you knew how deep the corruption goes, man. Let's get into this, yo. And a lot of y'all might recognize his face right here. Brother Tim, you know what I'm saying? And you might recognize that one, but check it out.
Yeah, I think I can do kind of an elevator pitch version of that. So obviously I was myself a lifelong liberal, a Democrat voter through 2016. And I think I started voting in 2000, I believe. Yeah. And so I always voted Democrat, and I did it pretty thoughtlessly too. I mean, even if I didn't know who the candidate was or whatever, just I would go in and check anything with a D next to it, basically. And for me, I think the greatest reason why I was drawn to do that is because I'm gay, and because the messaging and the marketing, I think, of the Democrats and the liberal media and the whole, you know, leftist machine very effectively is that, you know, Republicans are the party of greedy, self-interested, straight white people, and Democrats are the only people who care about marginalized communities in this country, like black people, brown people, LGBT people, etc. And so I sort of thoughtlessly considered myself a liberal, and thoughtlessly was voting Democrat. And then in 2016, I was very excited to vote for Hillary Clinton, which I did, and I was terrified. I was... you know, it was a big joke, basically, that Trump was running for office until it became clear that he was going to win the primary and actually become the candidate. And then it's like it changed overnight from it being really funny to suddenly Hitler is running for office. Yeah. Like overnight.
That Ann Coulter clip from Bill Maher?
Yes.
When everyone's laughing at her when it says Trump?
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's such a crowning moment for her, I feel like, to be like the only person who was right at that moment.
To get laughed at.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But so I bought into all of it. I mean, even when they changed the narrative very quickly, which I think that they did. I know it sounds a little bit conspiratorial, but I mean, I do believe that the media kind of bands together to, you know, create the narratives and the manipulation and, you know, whatever it is that you know, what they're going to be pushing in terms of, you know, the narrative of the story. And so suddenly it became, Trump's a racist, Trump's a bigot, Trump's a homophobe, Trump's a monster, and so are his followers. And so we have to eliminate this guy. That's what I think they were going with. So when he got elected president, I was shocked and confused and outraged, but more than anything, I was scared. I was terrified, because I really did believe that, you know, as a gay man, I really watched our culture change during the Obama years. But, you know, when Obama went, and I'm not saying that's because of Obama, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying when Obama started, there was still a lot of blatant homophobia that was happening and a lot of resistance to, you know, marriage equality, things like that.
Right.
But by the time he left, if you were to believe the media, basically we had kind of overcome those things. Everything had changed, which actually I do think that we have. But when Trump became popular again, what they were saying was, no, this is a backlash to all the progress that we made under Obama, and now Trump wants to reverse your rights as a gay person. He wants to send black people back to Africa. Pence wants to throw us all into concentration camps in Pennsylvania and shock us all straight. And
I did hear all those things, to be like,
yeah,
some form of that, yeah.
No, I mean, it's absurd, and obviously I'm, you know, not coming across as a great genius here, but like I bought into the vast majority of all of it. I was like, you know.
Yeah, crap. You can't think for yourself. You know, there's a lot of people right now that are they call it TDS, Trump deranged. And tons have it stage 4. They can't think for themselves. And tons turn on CNN every single night, you know. They watch The View, The Spew. The View. Whoopi up there. Sonny. I mean, it's crap. And these are the same people that love Trump. Everybody that you see that are so anti-Trump, they loved him until he came down that elevator in 2016. And now you have to hear more of the same hatred. And now they got this thing called, they immediately, when they found out about Project 2025, and even before, when Project 2025, they were trying to get Biden and other presidents on board. But then they read, a couple people, that are part with Trump, or so this has to automatically, these conservatives, this automatically is a Trump presidency, Project 2025. Which is not a Trump's. I hurt to break you guys' feelings. Anybody that people that are watching, and especially if you believe in this Project 2025 as a Trump's presidency, but it's not. Project 2025 is not a Trump's presidency, y'all. He's on his own type of time and he has his own agenda. And I'll tell you, big hitters, a lot of big hitters that you see now that have endorsed him and are on board. Again, those big hitters wouldn't be a part of what's going on if Project 2025 was really his presidency. Just, what I'm saying? Just be honest with you. And I'm glad that RFK Jr. came on live on there and explained that conversation him and Trump had about Project 2025. And it's sad that he didn't even know the full details about it. He didn't even know the full details about any of it. But again, they're going to continue this crap and the BS, the fake news, the lies. They're going to continue to wipe this ticket through the mud. This Trump and Vance ticket. As you seen what they did when Vance was talking about the shooting a couple days ago that took place in Georgia. Fact of life. Or when Trump said bloodbath. But what about when the Democrats say bloodbath? Anyways, let's continue. I just want to point that out of there, man. There's a lot of, you have to think for yourself. You really do. If you can't think for yourself, your life is going to be miserable. If you can't think for yourself, you're going to be miserable. And life is already miserable for, tons of us, You see the economy, you see everything that's taking place. People are struggling. People are dying. People have died. But if you can't think for yourself of what's going on right now, you're really going to be miserable, you guys.
And so I was scared, and I wanted to, part of me wanted to punish his base for voting for him. But the other part of me wanted to just stop being so scared and angry and confused and outraged and all these things. So I kind of went on this journey of research. God, this is a terrible elevator pitch. Is the show even, are the 2 hours up? Are we done?
No, you're good.
Good night, everybody.
You're good.
So I kind of went on this journey to try to understand two things. How did the media get it so wrong? Because the media that I trusted told me he had like a 3% chance of winning or less. And why would anybody vote for somebody who's so terrible? Like, yes, Republicans are obviously the worst people in the world, but I didn't think they were that bad,
Right.
And so I started kind of researching it. And in January of 2017, right around the time he was about to take office, I posted something on social media that ended up changing my life forever. And I didn't know that it was going to, but again, I wanted to punish people who voted for him. And so I was constantly putting out these really nasty posts and, you guys are such idiots and thanks for ruining the world and, whatever. But in January, I posted that I would never be able to understand how anyone could vote for a man who was capable of standing before a cheering crowd and mocking a reporter's disability, right? Like, what happened to the decency and the soul and just the humanity of middle America? Like, what is wrong with you guys? And somebody finally answered me because I was putting all these nasty posts out, but like no one would respond. Right? I was like, answer me. Why did you vote for him? Tell me. And like no one would. So finally, privately on Facebook, this woman named Diane, hi Diane Beck, my babysitter. Oh, I didn't even look at the camera. Hi Diane. She reached out to me privately and she just said, look, I'm not trying to start anything with you. Like I'm not, because we'd had a lot of fights. She's a staunch Christian conservative. Your eyes are just really fixed on that. I just look at you because Brandon's a slammer on the table. The UFO keeps falling. I'll try to. I'll just.
No, that's not better.
She reached out to me privately and she said, "I'm not trying to start a fight with you. I'm just asking, have you seen this?" And she sent me a link to a YouTube video entitled "Debunking that Trump Mocked the Disabled Reporter." Have you seen it?
I did.
Okay.
Because of you, actually.
Yeah,
Really?
we were talking about this last night.
Yep. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I pride myself on somebody who tries to avoid falling for the narrative traps and all that.
Yeah.
But it was actually a video you posted where I was like, wait, he wasn't mocking the reporter?
No, he wasn't.
I thought he was.
No.
And I'm somebody who is always like, I will talk with Trump supporters. I don't think they're all that bad. I don't think Trump's all that bad. But that was something I thought was true until I saw your video.
Yeah. It's when you just said that right now, I got chills because for me, it's not just a moment. It's the moment that changed my life. It completely changed my life. And so, okay. So
what's the gist of the video?
So it's a compilation video showing Donald Trump in certain circumstances, even before he was running for president, when he was like on Larry King, early 2000s or something. But it's a compilation of 6, 7, 8 times when he did that exact same voice and gesture as he did at that rally, which was basically like,
and he goes, with his arm.
Then he's flailing. Yeah, he's flailing. But in every...
And he still does it in today's rally.
Single circumstance, he's imitating somebody who's flailing because they were caught in a lie,
right,
or doing something shady or doing something dishonest. But on that day, he happened to be doing it, imitating somebody who really did have a disability. But the media knew. I mean, they covered every rally that he did. And he's done this numerous times at his rallies. And I think he was imitating Ted Cruz at one point. I think he was imitating several different people, the exact same voice and gesture. But what they did was they freeze framed when his arm was like this, and they threw it up on the television screen with a banner that said "Trump mocks disabled reporter."
Yep.
And I thought it was one of the most shocking, sickening things I'd ever seen in my entire life. And for me, it should have ended there. Why would anyone be willing to vote for somebody who would make fun of a disabled person in front of thousands of cheering people? And but I watched this video, and I had to watch it 3 times because I had this like disconnect kind of between my brain and my heart, because my brain was going, oh my God, I don't think he mocked that reporter's disability. Yeah. And my heart was going, yeah, but we hate him. But we hate him. Wow. Like, and I don't want to see something that makes it harder for me to hate him. And so I watched it 3 times in a row, and I couldn't make sense of it. And so I went to bed, and I just kind of told myself, okay, you can watch it again later. You don't have to make sense of it right now. It kept me up almost all night. And I woke up the next day and I opened my computer and I watched it again first thing, and it was like crystal clear. He didn't mock a reporter's disability. But this presented an even bigger conundrum for me, because if he didn't mock a reporter's disability, why did CNN tell me that he did?
And what else didn't he do?
Yeah, it's a lot, you guys. It's man, wow. Even I got chills right now hearing that, And again, y'all know I talk about this on the channel all the time. We covered, a lot of things. We've covered a lot of, stuff that has gotten debunked this year. We covered a lot of fake news this year. Enemy of the people. We've covered a lot of it. They just did it with his running mate, his VP, JD Vance, for being pro-family. And then just 2 days ago, about the shooting that took place at the school. They took a short clip, didn't show you the full thing of what he said. They took a short clip and put a fake headline, false headline. And then they had to take it down and re-edit it and then make a apologizing statement. And the Kamala campaign, their social media team is facing lawsuits with Tim actually for taking some of his clips and doing more fake news, and including him talking about the Project 2025. They're facing lawsuits right now as well with this content creator. Shout out to Tim. But again, you guys, there's a lot of people that have done, that they're starting to do the research. They're starting to understand what's actually what's going on. Why is there so much hate being spread? And this is one reason why you got people shooting at rallies. He has to stand behind bulletproof glass out in outdoor rallies. While people are saying inside jobs. They don't want to lose power, man. Hate to break it to you. And in 2016, Trump wasn't even supposed to win. It was supposed to be Hillary. That was their plan. And they want everything blue. You see, they flying them in. Just being real with you guys, man. That's why it has to be too big to rig this year. But we're going to continue to see the rest of the podcast. But that was a very, very important clip of the podcast. I really want everybody to hear, man. Make sure you share this video right now. Hit that like button.
Things the media claimed.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a quiz.
No.
He didn't call all Mexicans rapists. He didn't create
Very
a
fine
Muslim
people.
ban.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Well, but Charlottesville hadn't happened yet.
Right.
Charlottesville was the first incident that I saw happen in real time after I walked away. So that's what started this like disconnect for me. That, oh my God, there's something wrong here. And so I started kind of researching how often does this happen? Like what other things have they lied about?
Every day.
Yeah,
Everything.
And I found I talk about this one a lot because I found this really interesting footage of it wasn't any like social media influencers or famous people or anything, but it was a group of black people who had gone to a Trump rally to support him. And when they got there, they situated themselves in the seats, and then CNN moved the camera. So that they wouldn't be in the shot. And they said they were outside of after the rally was over, they were being interviewed by people, and they were like, CNN just completely moved the camera when we sat down in front of them because, God forbid, people would see black people supporting Trump. That shatters the white supremacist narrative, right?
There's a meme right now, and it says, if they're claiming this man is a Nazi and this woman is a white supremacist, they're brainwashing you, and it's Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens.
Right, yeah.
And I mean, look.
Yeah.
So I remember I watched you put out the video. I don't remember exactly when, where you mentioned your walk away moment, and it was that clip, and it showed Donald Trump doing the thing, and then I thought, like he did make fun. I thought he made fun of the disabled guy, but he wasn't imitating him for being disabled. I didn't realize he did it to a bunch of other people, and that it was a normal Trump thing.
Exactly.
But when I saw that, I laughed because I was like, the fact that he would still mock and laugh that way and kind of flail around says to me that he is bad, but not that bad. Not in the way they claim he is. My thing has always been Trump, in my opinion, is not the character you expect to see in the Oval Office.
Right.
And so that I've had an issue with the way he would demean people, make fun of people, and I think one thing I've been seeing recently is he's been improving. I mean, he did have the Joe Scarborough thing earlier this, not too long ago.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that stuff. I don't like when he, rails on people that way. But I've been watching his press conferences. I've been paying attention, and he's chill. He's way more chill now than he was. And for me, that was kind of a big deal. Not that my vote is determined based on whether or not someone's a potty mouth.
Sure.
But it does play some kind of role.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
Why don't you like it when he does that?
I think you've got a lot of it's not professional. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world.
Are you HR, Tim?
No. And I've had these conversations with Trump supporters. Notably, does the president need to be a perfect character, a perfect image. Should I care if Trump is acting this way, if he's fixing the country? And absolutely, you're completely right. So policy does come first. But so I'm not saying, it's the one thing that really does stop me. Early on in his look, he hired John Bolton. That was a mistake. He had the missile strike in Syria, and I said, here we go. All of it, he was going to be this guy. Now he's not. But he's greatly improved, and we can talk about it in a second. But I don't know. So you ask me the question again.
Well, I was just asking why you don't like it when he
right.
does those things, says those things, acts that way.
One thing is I'm not a big fan of inefficiency. And I think if you've got a bunch of people that are looking for excuses, stop giving them excuses. Try and figure out how to navigate this properly. And it seems like we often hear about Trump playing 4D chess, where he successfully manipulates and he does these things that triggers and makes them look crazy. I laugh. I do. Look, I think Trump is a great entertainer, and I think he's a very, very funny guy. But I feel like he could. Well, actually, I feel like he is starting to do it. He's starting to actually play a better role. Maybe his history or the smears against him will hold him back quite a bit. But I was always thinking, like, I've said this several times, if the Democrats put forward someone with Trump's policies but didn't do this kind of bombastic behavior, they'd probably win.
Absolutely. Well, and the reverse could have been said in the past too. I mean, because I always used to think Republican, as a Democrat and as a liberal, I thought to myself, I actually think that Republicans in many ways have better policies, but they have such terrible PR in a way. I mean, there's such a toxic image that Republicans have. But this kind of brings it full circle, because the reason why I asked you that question about why don't you like it is because I didn't used to like it either. I mean, this is someone who literally hated Trump. And then, something that's important for people to understand is I didn't walk away from the left straight into Trump's arms. I mean, I made a decision in March of 2017 was the final straw for me was when Rachel Maddow got on Twitter and said, I've got his tax returns. No, really, I've got his tax returns.
Oh, man.
Now, I had been researching for 2 months up until this point, like religiously, and I had found just a whole Bible full of examples of the media lying, manipulating, race baiting, using hate crime hoaxes.
Some of the worst, and it's happening right now. And the worst, and the race baiters, the race hustlers are what is a huge problem right now, especially as all we're hearing is identity politics all the way to November 5th. It's one of the worst issues we have now, and why we're so divided.
Things like this, it was all piling up for me, and I was
sick of it.
Literally, like, completely out the door. And then all of a sudden, Rachel Maddow gets on Twitter and she says, "I've got his tax returns. And I thought to myself, this is really bad, but I'm being honest. I was like, okay, if I tune in tonight and she's got some smoking gun about his tax returns, I'm going to forget about everything I learned the last 2 months, and I'm going to get right back on the I hate Trump train. I'm just going to, like, cognitive dissonance. I'm just going to pretend like it didn't happen." Like, that's literally was my mentality. And I really thought there was a chance, too. So, like, and she did that pretty early in the day, so we all had to wait like hours till her show was on. So we sit there, and I'm sure you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
She vamped for about 45 minutes, just literally talking gibberish about nothing. And then finally, in like the last segment of her show, she produced 2 pieces of paper, which showed that he paid his taxes in 2005, like $35 million or something in 2005.
She got roasted for this because it made Trump look good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the conspiracy theories was that the Trump camp actually seeded these because they knew she couldn't resist, and they knew it would make Trump look good, and it would do exactly what you experienced.
Yes.
That it was total bunk.
Yes.
Real quick, do you know that you know about the Durham report? They're investigating the investigators for Russiagate.
Okay.
Rachel Maddow was obsessed every day. Russia.
Uh-huh.
Well, we got big news, Rachel. They actually arrested a lawyer who was, I guess, essentially fabricating evidence to go after Trump, and she didn't cover it.
Interesting.
That's the game. Yeah. I've worked for these media companies. I know what they're interested in, and it's not honesty. It's attention. It's anger. It's rage. So all of these fake stories about Trump, it's a gold mine for them.
Well, and then the other thing that they'll do too is if the opposition ends up finding evidence of their own wrongdoing, then they just start attacking the character of the opposition, or planting seeds of doubt in the evidence. I mean, and she's crazy. That woman's insane. I mean, she was, during the Russian thing, I watched her show a couple of times. You can only stomach it a few times, but I watched a few of her shows, and she was going back. I mean, she was really obsessing about Nixon and trying to draw a connection between Trump and Nixon. And, and that's basically, I think that she knew that the evidence was so flimsy, or evidence, against Trump, that what she tried to do was get everyone all riled up about Nixon, and then just be like, oh, and by the way, Trump's like Nixon, and that would be the end of the show.
Transfer all that hate over, like build it up and then send it to Trump.
Right.
Thanks for checking out this clip.
And we see a lot of that today. Like I say, man, it's crap. It is crap, man. Wow. Woo, what do y'all think of that? Comment down below. Again, you have to think for yourself. You have to think for yourself. But again, the fake news, the mainstream media, people that can't think for themselves, they're far lost, far gone already. Trump deranged, stage 4. There's no coming back. There's a slight chance you can come back. It's rare. But again, I was one of those ones, man, that was anti-Trump, never Trumper. I thought people over on this side was, they were racist, this and that. I used to think, I believe in all of that. I was listening to what family and friends were saying. But again, the tide is turning. And now a lot of family, friends, a lot of people that I knew that hated Trump or voted Trump this year. The tide is turning, man. When I go into these stores and out in the public over here where I live, Trump gets a lot of love, man. People with shirts and hats on themselves. I get a lot of compliments wearing this in public. The tide is turning, man. Tide is turning. It was a little iffy over here when 2016 was around. It was a little iffy. And then in 2020, 2021, 2020, I was like, man, a lot of people got those Trump signs in their yards. Why am I saying? I'm like, man, what? They're scaring me. But I'm glad I woke up in 2022. Again, but before we started posting videos on the channel, as most of y'all know the story, man. We woke up in 2022 and seen what was going on and how corrupt it is. As a college dropout myself, at 24 years old, college dropout, business owner. I've done everything you could name. It's on my resume. I've been in the service industry. I've done it all, man. I've been down to my last. I've been struggling with $1 to my name. I'm telling you, I've been there. And it's hard around these times, man. It really is. These last 6 years, I've worked the hardest in my life ever. And I still do. And I'm still going to have to continue to work the hardest ever. It's been a grind, man. It really has. And I know right now things are expected to get even worse. We don't know what to expect. And we're going to need some true leadership, for real. But as you can see, we are against a corrupt system, man. Corrupt system. And that's what they're against. So we encourage everybody to go out and vote. Too big to rig, baby. Well, again, let me know what y'all think of this. Make sure you share this video around. Share it with, some anti-Trumpers. Some of your anti-Trump family members. Your loved ones. I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for or whatever, but just want to, open up your guts. You know what I'm saying? Get that thing rocking and rolling, man. So not believe everything that they tell you or that they show you. And there's a reason why fake news, enemy of the people, is a viral saying, a famous saying, because it's true. There's a reason why there's so much hatred and why we're so divided. But hey, bless you all and your families. I love you guys, man. One love to the human race, man. I encourage you to spread the love to one another because you never know what somebody is going through. And hey, I love y'all, and I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, baby.